Hello, we're back. What we're doing here is we're trying to make a video that shows kind of our process, Dynamics process as we build our homes and what sets us apart from all of our competition. Today I got Mick with me who's got years of experience. As we go down the line here, he's going to talk us through, like I said, what does set us apart from our competition. And we're going to start here with our floors behind us. So every house starts with a good floor, and that's where we're at right now. We got this one hanging up in the air. Mick's going to talk us through what we got for rim joists, insulation underneath, just like I said, just to set us apart from our competition. Go ahead, Mick.
Okay, structurally all floors are very, very similar. We go with a 2x10, 16-inch on center, a number 2 and better. A lot of times we'll leave an upgrade to Select Structural, which is a little better quality, so we have less throwouts. If we have a 1/4-inch crown in any floor joist, we toss it. So quality is very important to us. We go 16-inch on center. To that we will glue and staple with 1.5-inch staple, 7/16 OSB. That's the first floor. Above that we'll come back, glue and staple with a 2-inch staple, the subfloor, the top floor. So we end up with a 15/16 thick floor system, and it's double fastened, glued, both layers, so it's eliminating any squeaks you would ever have. Other than that, we get underneath here, we have joist hangers where the two halves come together, where they marriage up. We've got joist hangers on every joist, and we've got a double rim joist. This particular one has microlabs put into it, something they requested. But on every unit we have that's 54 feet and longer, we automatically put one. But in this particular case, they want a longer span in their basement, maybe for a pool table or something. So we've got 2 here and actually 3 down on the other end. So we can customize your floor to accompany what you're going to be doing in your basement later on. Also, when you look underneath here, which is code, we have a 3-inch Thermax insulation, which we install, and then we foam on 3 sides. Once the house is set in your foundation, the contractor has to come and just foam the bottom edge where it goes up against your sill plate. Other than that, every house is different. Over here, we've got a box out on our joists. That's where our plumbing's gonna drop down through. So we box it out, and that will leave the plumber, give him plenty of access to hook up your plumbing from above, run it back up to his outside drain lines, and give him plenty of room to work. Okay, after we completed everything underneath the floor, we lower the floor down, and it starts on its 600-foot journey down our factory. The first thing we do is we'll cut the heat holes to be hooked up on site for your heating system. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll prepare the floor if it's going to get any vinyl flooring. We'll sand it, fill the staple holes, sand it, and then we'll lay the vinyl floor down. And what's nice about it, it's easy for us to do, but then our walls, your stool, your tub, all that sits on top of the vinyl floor. So it's a very nice flat installation, and you've all been in bathrooms where you've seen it curling up in the corners for moisture. That just can't happen with ours because everything is sitting on top of it. So it's an easy way for us to install it, and for you, the consumer, you get a trouble-free vinyl installation if you're going with that as your floor covering.
All right, we're at the beginning of our process where every house we build starts right here on our floor table. This particular table is built specifically for any floor that we build. We're able to put pegs in it. It allows us to build a perfectly square floor. There's no leeway. That way when we go down the assembly line, all of our walls, everything fits perfect. What we do internally is we label every home with a serial number. That's how we differentiate from different dealers, different customers. A couple things to point out on this floor. First thing we do is we lay down 7/16 OSB. It's glued and stapled. On top of that, we have 1/2-inch plywood glued and stapled. This takes out any creaks, any noise. This floor is built to go down the road at 60 miles an hour and lift up with a crane. So this floor is built sturdy to withstand all of that. Another thing that we also have as an option here at Dynamic Homes is a 3-inch Thermax that goes around the exterior of the home, keeps your basement warm, keeps that harsh Minnesota winter outside. Another thing we do while it's at this stage is in between the floor joists is we have cribbing, which brings everything tight together, and again, just another added strength benefit to the floors here at Dynamic Homes. All right, we're down here at towards the beginning of our assembly line, And we're talking exterior walls. What we have here is a 2x6 exterior wall. We have it sheeted with 7/16 OSB. And what you'll see in all of our homes, we use an engineered stud for our cabinet areas and bathroom areas. It allows us to have those cabinets firm and flush against the wall with no movement. A couple other things to point out is the studs are 16 inch on center. And as you look down here, depending upon the size of the window or the sliding glass door, we have LVL for our headers to add added strength. All right, we've talked about exterior walls on our north end of our plant. Now we're on the south end at our interior wall table where we have 2x4 walls as well as 2x6 walls. Why we have these larger walls is to accommodate our plumbing wherever that needs to be in the home. Once these walls are built, we'll lift it up and we'll hoist it over onto the mod. Once they're set, we will bring the mod down the line for the next step. All right, we're at the roof table now. Now that we've built our floor, we got some walls on our floors. We got a couple different systems here on our roof table, and Mick's going to talk us through that.
Okay, the first thing on this table, it's adjustable from 12 to 14 feet in and out. And the first thing we do is we'll lay this up with 5/8 inch sheetrock. That lays across this table. And then the next thing we do, which is nice for building inside of a modular factory, we lay a continuous vapor barrier. We're not cutting around walls. It lays continuous all the way across here. And then we'll lay the rafters up on here. 2 foot on center. This particular one is going to have cap rafters, so they're flat on top. But we'll lay the rafters up, and then this one has micro lambs incorporated into it. It's going to be vaulted on that end of the module, which is not completed yet. And then we'll take and lay up 1 row of roof sheathing on the back side to square the table up. And then we'll pick this up and trolley it across and set it on top of those walls.
Mick, I imagine when you run sheetrock continuous throughout the house and not room to room, you're adding a lot of strength to the house, aren't you?
It helps a lot, right?
It
helps
okay.
a lot. It's it's a 12 or 14 foot sheetrock, but we try and stop it on joints that are under walls,
Sure.
so you're not having to monkey with that, filling it and taping. So that helps quite a bit. And we also have we stop our sheetrock joints in between. We float in between our rafters, and we actually convex the flat end of that sheetrock up a little bit, so you end up with a much flatter ceiling once it's taped. And our standard roof pitch on not all of our houses, we make several different roof pitches, but our standard is 612, and this is how it's done. This rafter would be laying up here, but I've got one laid out here. This is in the down position, so we can go down the road, not hit any wires, bridges, things of that nature. In the old days, we were stuck with the 312, but they've came up with this hinge rafter system, so once we get on site, the crane will lift the whole roof up. This kicker comes down, and there you've got your 612 roof pitch. It's all incorporated into it, so now we can haul it down the road and leave the consumer with a very nice pitched roof, and it works out very well. We can shingle the whole thing. We just have a break right where the hinges are, and that just has to be fastened. 1 row of shingles fastened on site. Other than that, she's complete. Dynamic Homes has always been known to be a top quality manufacturer, and here's a perfect example. This is a kitchen wall. So you've got a kitchen window here, cabinets, countertop, coming around here. What we've done here is we've gone with a OSB stud. It's about 4 times as expensive as a regular stud, but this thing is guaranteed to stay straight no matter what. So your cabinets will fit nice and flush up against this wall. The countertopping will fit, no gaps, no grinding. We feel it's a very good, worthwhile addition to our building process. If you come over here, you can see in the floor system, we cut back the top floor, the 1/2 inch. We cut that back 1.5 inches on each side. So once these floors are joined and bolted on site, we've got a 3-inch gap here. That's done on purpose, so we can put a 3-inch filler strip in on site, so this floor comes up perfectly smooth every time then. So there's no imperfections to that. Dynamic Homes has always been known for building a very tight, energy efficient home, and today every house we build is built to Energy Star standards. We do this by going with an R21 fiberglass wall insulation, And to that then we take and overlap our ceiling vapor barrier with our wall vapor barrier by a foot. We overlap it and we caulk around every perimeter. Keeps that thing extremely tight. We also, on the exterior walls, we have a gasketed, every outlet box, plug-in box is gasketed, so the sheetrock presses up against there, makes for a very tight fit. Also, if notice over here, part of Energy Star is every penetration through the wall, exterior wall and ceilings are foamed. So we go through and foam every penetration on those areas, your bath fans, all of your outlets going through the ceiling to stop air infiltration. We've been tested by Energy Star and we're one of the tightest houses they've ever tested. Also on this wall, you'll notice a couple of things. We've got blocking back in here for your cabinets, and above every window, we've also got blocking here for if you want to put curtain rods up. So we've got something there to fasten them to, so you're not searching for studs. And what we do is, this is lumber we've rejected. It wasn't straight, so we cut it up, we reuse it, put it up there. Whether you use it or not, they're there for future reference. Dynamic homes are built in northern Minnesota. Climate's very cold, extreme, so as our standard window, we offer the best. It's a Thermotech window, all casements, insulated glass, low E glass with argon in between the panes to help with cold penetration through it. That's our standard window. You can also have available double hungs and sliders if that's what you would like, but this is the best window made, and we install it for this climate. Also, before we install it, we start off by installing a window dam in the bottom of your rough opening. That's put in first, and then we'll put in caulk behind the nail flange of this window all the way around, and then you can see we put a window tape on there all the way around over the top of the house wrap to keep moisture out of there. If moisture ever does get in there, it'll come down to this window dam and come out and get to the outside. So it's not getting caught and trapped into your rough opening and wrecking your wood corners, which has happened quite a bit unless you follow this exact procedure. Every dynamic home comes standard with an R55 attic insulation. This insulation is recycled newspaper and good for the economy. We're using stuff up. We also offer up to an R60 in your attic with a blown insulation. Dynamic home uses a continuous soffit vent. This way we're able to vent between every rafter. We start the soffit and it vents and then releases out the very peak of the house. Gives you a complete attic ventilation that way. We offer it standard with a 14-inch overhang, but you can also upgrade to a 22-inch overhang on your soffit and fascia.
All right, so far we've been pointing out all of our standard options that we have that sets us apart from our competition. I just wanted to touch on one of the many options that we also have that can make your house yours when you're choosing all the different options with building with Dynamic, and that's our fireplace. On this one we have a gas fireplace. We also have an electric fireplace as an option too. We can put a nice limestone in front of it as well as our cultured stone. So when you're building with Dynamic Homes, not only do you get the highest standard specifications, we also have many options to choose from to take your house to that next level. As we've worked our way down the line, Mick has pointed out a lot of our standard specifications that we have for each house. I wanted to take a minute to talk about a couple different options that you can upgrade to your home. As I said, standard, we have oak cabinets that come standard in all of our homes. These are oak with a taconite finish. We have an array of different cabinet styles and species that you can upgrade to. Also, our standard countertop is a laminate countertop. This particular home has upgraded to a solid surface Corian top. Again, just one of many upgrades that you can do to take your Dynamic home to the next level. One other option that we have here at Dynamic Homes is this plank flooring. It's a SPC waterproof 5 mil floor. We had talked earlier about our vinyl floor that gets put down on the flooring stage. This is an upgrade plank flooring that we can put down once the house is set. What we typically do is we will install the kitchen half of the house, and then when the house comes together on site, as we talked about earlier, we're going to run that sheeting, 3-inch piece of sheeting to make that transition smooth, and then on site we'll finish to the other half of the home. That way you don't have a transition strip that runs right down the middle. One last option we have here that is one of my favorites, and that is our tile shower. We have 12 by 24 inch wall tile with accent rows to choose from. This particular one goes all the way to the ceiling. I think this really is a great upgrade from your standard fiberglass shower. It sets you apart from anyone else. We have a great contractor here on site that does this. Your home shows up completely done rather than try to deal with that on site with another contractor. You just choose that upgrade with Dynamic Homes and your shower is done. All right, so we're at the end of the plant, end of the process here. Our house has made it down our 600-foot travels. It's about to go out the back door and sit out in the yard for delivery. I got one of our lead foremen here, Grant. He's going to talk about how we got to this process and how we're going to get it out the door.
At this point, after the house has been completed, we have put plastic on the roof to seal it up for watertight. Then they roll it down the production line to this point where we lift it up with these hoists. At this point, then we'll open the door, we'll back the semi under it. These red marks on here will be how we line the trailer up. Then we'll pull it out and then it'll go outside for delivery at this point.